When people think of pyramids and great civilizations, they think of the Egyptians, the Mayans, and the Aztecs. However, people are unaware of the great mound builders that lived and thrived in North America.
The Mississippi Indian civilization could have rivaled any other throughout the world during the height of their empire. And it all ended on the Ohio and Mississippi River Valley.
Our first stop along our quest to unveiling the secrets of this society is Angel Mounds in present-day Evansville, Indiana. What happened to this civilization?
We think with the Angel site they got too big for their own good. Their crops, they were a southern kind of a crop they were growing here. There was a small ice age, or they call it the Little Ice Age, around the year 1400 in that period. So their crops would begin to fail somewhat. There's another possibility that people from IU have worked on, that a massive earthquake may have hit the site around 1400 or 1450 as well. And that may have been the final straw, and they said, let's get out of here.
Angel Mounds was the last great city of the Mississippian mound builders. Once a thriving community, is now nothing more than an overgrown field.
This is your main mound here at Angel Mounds?
Mound A.
How tall is this thing?
The top of the conical offset's about 45 feet. The entire length of the mound's about 600 feet, and it's about 400 feet wide.
So what was this mound A, what was this mound used for?
Well, this would have been chief residence for the leader of the community, the chief.
The local family would have been living on top of this mound?
Yes.
Was there any religious ceremonies taking place on here as well?
Possibly with a conical offset. The lower platform of this mound, it's a three-tiered mound.
And this mound, has it aligned itself with the, what did you say, the summer solstice?
Summer solstice. The conical offset lines up with a point on the temple mound.
Where's that at?
The temple mound is the one off in the distance on the other side of the tree line.
This culture worshipped the sun and nature, which it was a part of. It is ever so ironic that the thing they worshipped the most is what forced them to leave. Before the collapse of their empire, the Mississippians flourished in this rich environment and even had a popular sport called chunky.
This is where they would play this game. Right here in front of the large mound is the courtyard. Now the object of this game is they would have a stone and it'd be hollow in the center. And they would roll this stone and they would try to take their spear and throw it directly into the center of the rolling stone. This game wasn't about brute strength, it was about pure accuracy.
Opposing tribes were always a concern for the Mississippians. One of their most impressive structures was their greatest defense.
If you were an opposing force trying to attack Angel Mounds, you'd have to go through three lines of defense. The first line of defense is this swamp area which surrounded an entire village. Once past the swamp, they would have encountered a brigade of sharpened sticks throughout this entire section to help slow the attacking force down. Once past this section, they would have encountered a 15-foot solid wall that surrounded the entire village. Not much is known about the original wall. The entire thing was surrounding the village, and it was about 15 feet high. So at points, they might have needed to have portholes, something like this, to be able to see out.
Angel Mounds had a great influence on surrounding civilizations. Other tribes mimicked the Mississippians who tried to live up among the gods.
What else is interesting is what they found is bones about 9 feet deep, and not just one but several. This is a huge burial mound of the woodland Indians, and this was ranging about 900 AD. So this entire area, what we're standing on, is one big burial mound.
As I peer off into the horizon, I'm curious where this magnificent civilization derived from and how their influence stretched so far. To answer this question, I had to travel to southwest Illinois to Cahokia Mounds, located on the Mississippi River.
These are very similar to mounds or pyramids that we see in Mexico and other places around the world.
This site had over 120 mounds stretching over an area of 6 square miles, the greatest civilization in North America. At its peak, there was around 40,000 people living in this city. At its time, Cahokia Mounds was larger than London, England.
All right, this mountain I'm climbing right now,
It's actually a burial mound. And it is steep and it's tall. You can tell how the woodlands started mimicking the Mississippian Indians by Sugarloaf Mound. This resembles a lot just like a Sugarloaf Mound. It's about the same size, about the same shape. It's used for burials. And the mound behind me was where they would prepare the body on the flat top mound. Then once it was prepared to be buried, they would come over here and bury it within the mound. Man, this is steep. Wow. Man. So the center of this mound, they found evidence. They took core samples here as well. Hundreds of different skeletons throughout this whole entire burial mound. Very similar to Sugarloaf.
And in the center of this city lies the largest man-made mound north of Mexico.
Behind me you can see a series of mounds leading up to the biggest mound, which is called Monk's Mound. And that was not only the largest mound here, it's the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas, the largest totally earthen mound built in North or South America.
Monk's Mound is over 10 stories tall and covers 14 acres, making it the largest pyramid per square feet in the entire world. From this view, the chief would have been able to look out and see his empire stretching for miles in every direction.
The fourth and final terrace of Monk's Mound was strictly prohibited to everybody except for the chief and his family. This is where he would have ruled his forces. This is where he would have governed his people.
One can only imagine how the chief might have felt, knowing what laid ahead with his empire.
Around 1,000 years ago, you had tens of thousands of Mississippian Indians living in this Ohio River Valley. All of a sudden, they vanished without a trace. Due to poor crop production, global climate change, overpopulation, some of these obstacles caused them to pick up and leave, never to return. This is what they left us with. This is their record. This is their story.
This has been a Cincinnati production. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.